Today on Vox, we have information on a shooting, National Pancake Day, and more. Aaron Carroll will have your local weather, and Morgan Stentz will have your sports.
It's Wednesday, September 26, 2018, and you're watching Vox News Today.
Please stand for the pledge of the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon and welcome back. I'm Mary Beth Mangrum.
And I'm Jay Standridge.
Chattanooga police say that 19-year-old Shonquel Stanfield was shot and killed Monday night on the 3100th block of North Chamberlain Avenue. They also say that the shooter was a juvenile and confessed to killing Stanfield. The suspect is being charged with criminal homicide, possession of a firearm during the commission of a dangerous felony, especially aggravated robbery, theft of over $10,000, and felony of reckless endangerment. They also say that they responded to the shots fired call and found the victim lying on the ground with several gunshot wounds. Hamilton County EMS transported her to the hospital, where she then succumbed to her injuries.
For breakfast this morning, you may want to indulge on something a little extra, because it's National Pancake Day. National Pancake Day started in 2005, and it is celebrated every September 26th. Also known as flapjacks or hot cakes, pancakes are one of North America's favorite breakfast foods. But they're great for dinner too. So mix up that batter, heat up the griddle, and get the butter and syrup ready.
A major transit hub in San Francisco is closed due to safety concerns. The $2.2 billion Salesforce Transit Center has been shut down while crews examine a fissure in a steel beam. It's on the third-level bus deck. The executive director of the Transbay Joint Powers Authority says that the beam is unpredictable. Transit services have shifted to another nearby terminal for the time being.
A new app in Syria alerts civilians of airstrikes. The app is known as Hala. It feeds information from the civilian airplane spotters in the field into an algorithm that also uses weather patterns and historical attack data to generate rapid warnings about imminent bombings. Its developers say they can't stop the bombings, but perhaps they can help civilians from being crushed by them. CNN's Arwa Damon reports.
Abdulrazak spends his time staring at the sky. He was a teacher, but that was in another lifetime. He's a spotter now, part of a trained team on the ground across Syria who report their observations on the types of aircraft they see and the direction they're headed. And he says, it's about saving lives, to feel that joy of knowing he helped others defy death. His and other spotters' observations, along with information on things like weather patterns and historical attack data, feed into an algorithm that is part of an early warning system called Sentry by Hala Systems. It reaches its users via Telegram and social media. Hala is the brainchild of American John Yeager and his team.
This is not a new concept. So back in World War I and World War II, and even after that, governments like the UK and the US employed the use of trained civilians to act as airplane spotters. We just applied about 7 decades worth of technological advancement and are essentially recreated that exact same system.
So how fast is it from the point where a spotter inputs information to a warning actually being generated?
Sure. So within a few seconds of us receiving an observation that is high enough degree of confidence that it would trigger a warning, a few seconds from input to an activation of an air raid siren in a potentially affected community.
In Syria, cell phone reception can be spotty, but Abd Salman recommends Hala to his customers. The warnings tell you where a plane is headed, what areas it's flying over, so if there are close shelters, we can run to them, he explains. Even for those who have a shelter, it's often makeshift. Mohammed, a young father of a 2-month-old baby, dug out his own for his family and relatives. It's not much, but it's all they have.
How effective do you think you've been able to be?
In the case where we're able to measure casualties in a location that's under heavy bombardment before and after our system is put into place and activated, we've seen up to a 27% reduction in lethality.
John, a former State Department employee, says Hala came about as a realization that bars somehow stopping the bombs and violence, there are few options to mitigate the impact of indiscriminate killing. And it's not just about saving lives in Syria.
I think that the world spends a tremendous amount of time focusing energy and resources on a lot of downstream issues that start with violence against civilians. Migration, displacement, socioeconomic issues. It all starts with innocent people being killed indiscriminately. If we can help mitigate the effects of that violence, we think it can have cascading effects, not just for Syria, but for every other country in the world.
Arwa Damon, CNN, Istanbul. Abdurrazak spends his time.
Now let's send it over to Aaron with your weather report.
Today we got weather damage in Canada and the 7-day forecast after this break.
Life happens. Whether it's car trouble, medical bills, or other expenses, Check Into Cash has a new flexible loan solution. Introducing the Flex Loan. The Flex Loan is an open line of credit. You control how much you borrow with flexible payment options. If you need a payday advance, we offer those too, because true flexibility is the ability to choose. For life's little emergencies, we're your one-stop money shop.
Hundreds of homes were destroyed by tornadoes in the Udawa-Kidatni region over the weekend, but cleanup isn't as easy, or lists of officials have yet to be more, over the weekend, but cleanup isn't at the top of the list for officials just yet, as rough weather is still on the way. Public Safety Minister Ralph Goodwill surveyed the site, and he says at this point the federal government hasn't had to provide any financial support, but was stunned by the devastation. Crews continue to clean up the debris anyway. Hannah Thebe reports.
First the wind, then the rain, and flooding. Now tornadoes. That's the latest devastation brought on by Hurricane Florence, this time in Virginia, where at least 6 different counties were affected by multiple tornadoes Monday.
Unfortunately, here at Old Dominion Flooring, one employee is confirmed deceased, and we have our crews on scene that will be working to recover the body here shortly.
As Florence moves northeast and dissipates, it will drop a final few inches of rain in the already waterlogged region.
We've been preparing for and living through Hurricane Florence for more than a week now. But this remains a significant disaster that affects much of our state.
Once the rain stops, the water will continue to rush downstream, causing catastrophic and historic river flooding, according to the National Weather Service.
The next few days will be long ones as the flooding continues.
And one of the biggest concerns, this river, which is actually parts Interstate 40 and I-95, major arteries through the state that have been cut off, and officials can't say exactly for how long until the water goes away.
Now it's time for our 7-day forecast. Today, which is Wednesday, we got a good chance of rain with a high 70, low 66. Thursday as well with the rain with a high 72, low 65. Friday, we got highs rain as well. High 77, low 62. Saturday, we got sunny and cloudy, high of 80, low 61. Same thing on 82. On Sunday with a high of 82, low 64. Monday, we got sunny and cloudy as well with a high of 80, low 64. And Tuesday, we got a good chance of rain with a high of 84 and a low 60, high 84 and a low 64. Now let's send it over to Morgan with your sports.
There was an extra inning thriller last night. We'll find out more after this break. Welcome back. Let's swing into it. The Braves faced the Mets in New York last night. The Braves had a great 7th inning and scored 4 runs. The Mets couldn't keep up, so the Braves win 7-3. The Yankees traveled to Tampa Bay to face the Rays. The whole game was played in the third inning when the Yankees scored 7 and the Rays scored 2. New York holds Tampa Bay off to win 9-2. The Houston Astros traveled north of the border to face Toronto. The Astros started off strong in the first inning, scoring 2 runs, and the Blue Jays could not come back. The Oakland Athletics took on the Mariners in an extra inning thriller. Chris Herman came up to bat as a pitch hitter in the 11th inning. He hit a walk-off bomb for the win, 10-8. Here are the highlights.
The 1-0. This is rifled. What a shot, back and gone. Nelson Cruz, you are incredible. The 1-2. This time a fair ball. Over Healy, Pender coming around third. A's are reclaiming the lead. Lucroy being waved in. The ball in the corner now comes in and all the way into third base is Nick Martini, who has given the A's the lead right back. It's 5. High out left center field. D and Heredia chasing, and a ground rule double. Span out to the gap in right center field, and he plugs it. Healy's coming home. Beckham tears around third. He is on his way to the dish. No throw by Simeon, and the Mariners are within a run. Ground ball into right field. Gamble making the turn. Here comes the throw. Cut, and this game is tied in the 9th. This is high and deep, and this game, good night. Chris Herman walks it off.
Just talked about it. He's a good fastball hitter. Pagan has been going at everybody with the fastball, and Chris Herman.
Well, tonight's winning moment brought to you by Washington's Lottery. I think you know what it is.
That's all from me. After this break, we'll take a look at your school announcements.
Welcome back, Bradley Central. Let's take a look at our school announcements.
This week in Spirit Week is preparation to our homecoming game this Friday. The dress-up days are as follows. Today is Out of This World Wednesday, tomorrow is Character Day, and Friday is Extreme Bradley Day. Make sure to show your support and dress up.
We apologize for the inconvenience, but the 2018 homecoming dance is currently being rescheduled. Tickets for the dance will not go on sale during lunch today. We are online on YouTube at BCHS VOX News.
You can also check us out on Facebook, SchoolTube, and of course, VoxNews.net.
You just can't get enough of Vox.
That's all we have for you today, Bradley Central.
And as always,
God bless and go Bears.